Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Danielle Lord. I am your hostess with our Zooming into Success series, part of our Chamber Collective presentations that we do each month for our growing business community here in the Pacific Northwest. So today, happy to introduce to you our current board, our Chamber Board President, Andy Frickel, and he is going to be joined by Don Martelli, and they are going to talk to us today about Alignable. So just a quick note, Alignable, I found it to be a really great resource. It's a kind of like Don might correct me on this, but it's a little bit of like a LinkedIn, but for kind of small businesses within local communities. So it's a really great place to get together, to network, to chat with some local folks. So I've met some really great folks on Alignable. So eager to hear and learn a little bit more from you, Don. So with that, I will turn it over to Andy and Don and have a great conversation.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Danielle. Don, I am super pumped to have you on the call today. Thank you for coming on at the last minute. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Don, you want to just kind of introduce yourself a little bit so we can get that out of the way?
Sure. Don Martelli, Vice President of Integrated Marketing and Communications with Alignable. I've been with the company for close to 9 months, but I was actually a member of the platform prior to even joining the company. I run a fairly successful public relations and strategic communications agency called the PR Bunker, or as we'd say here in Boston, the Bunker. I'm a former reporter for the Boston Globe, covered business and politics, and I've worked in communications for 20 plus years. And I am also an executive member of our board of chamber commerce here in Revere, Massachusetts. So I know all about the value of chambers and what they do for small businesses in your local community.
Excellent. Okay, cool deal. Well, we definitely have a subject matter who's not only used it, but is the evangelist for the platform as well. Now, I'll kind of give you a little bit of my background and usage of it here. So I have been using Alignable for probably about 5 or 6 years, I would say. It was, when I started using it, it was really kind of in its infant stage, but it's grown astronomically. I mean, I look at how many local businesses are engaging in that platform, and it's impressive the scale that you guys are gravitating to. Now, one of the greatest things about this platform is that there's a free and a paid, and we'll talk a little bit about. I've used both of them, so I can give a little bit of background on that. But if you're in the B2B business, this is one of the most fantastic tools. I have probably at least closed, $300,000-$400,000 worth of business using Alignable, and it's super simple to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through. Well, Don, do you want to go through the components of the page first, or do you want to look at my page?
Sure. I could probably do a little bit of both. We can kind of walk through your profile, the functionality, and the one caveat I would put here is think about Alignable as a box of business cards. And there's 9 million of those business cards. We all have these little things sitting in our desk drawer somewhere doing absolutely nothing for us, collecting dust, right? Well, Alignable allows you to categorize, tag, and filter those business cards, if you will, based on the people that you want to meet. And there's 2 types of people that you can meet on Alignable. 1, your customers, or 2, your referral partners. And so what I mean by that is Andy and I are a great sort of case study for this. What Andy does in digital marketing, I do not do. I'm more of a public relations, strategic communications agency that works with nonprofits. Oftentimes my clients say, hey, do you know somebody who can do X? Well, Andy would be that X. If it was not for Alignable, I would not have known Andy. And here we are.
Absolutely. So one of the easiest way that I used to be able to start using this right outside the box was by connecting with other people that are close by me that are in the industries that I want to connect with. So if I want to connect with real estate agents, or I want to connect with whatever it might be, I'm going to be able to do that here. And I just have to kind of get this little thingy out to the side here. And we can, you can go in and you can do search for like businesses, and I can put in a category here, and let's just go, hey, let's just say, and a real estate agent, and it's going to pull that up there. And then I'm going to say the community that I want is Sumner. Okay. So now it's pulling up all of these different folks. Now, some of these people I've already connected with, and then there's other people that I haven't connected with. So the best way that I have found is I find somebody here, here's a realtor, in Sumner. I've not met Mike before. I don't know who he is, so I can just connect with him. Hit the little connect button, and then I can just say, hi, Mike. Do you specialize in Lake Taps properties? And I'll send that to him. Okay, now boom. Now he will be able to connect back to me. And once he connects back to me, what I typically do is I go and look them up. Once they've said, yes, you connect, you'll get an email back that says they connected with you. And then I will go look them up. Sometimes their phone number will be right on the site if they're with it in their profile. Sometimes it's not. So I may have to go out to LinkedIn or someplace else to look them up. But then I will just reach out and give them a phone call. And I'll just say, hey, Mike, I saw we just connected on Alignable like 10 minutes ago. I just want to say it's great to meet another business member of the community. And I'm part of the Bonnie Lake Chamber up here. Love to invite you to some local networking events if you're interested. And by the way, do you guys, do business in the Lake Taps? Do you sell this? And then it just starts the conversation off as not a sales call, it is a connection. And so it's a very warm, it took a very cold lead that I'd never met before, and we'll turn it into a nice warm conversation that's non-threatening for both sides. So Don, I'm going to let you comment on that and
Sure.
see, and I'm just going to pull up my profile here.
Okay. Yeah, here's one trick I do if I'm hunting for business locally. So I live in Revere, Massachusetts, which is the city just above Boston. So in your search bar, Andy, type in 02151, which is my zip code. This is going to show you and go to businesses. This is going to show you every single business that is located in Revere, Massachusetts. So one way I would sort of hunt through this list is look at the second degree. So what that means in the bottom left-hand corner, this means, if you click that, right, this, you probably won't show anybody unless you just see me. What typically would show is that these are people that are in Revere, Massachusetts that are one relationship away from Andy. So he wants to meet Don Martelli. He can go right to him. Or what I like to do is have somebody open that door for me. So, for example, say I want to meet Andy and my buddy Mike knows him. It's easier for me to say, hey, Mike, I'd love to meet Andy. I'm looking for a marketing partner to help me with this nonprofit thing that I'm working on. Would you mind making an introduction? And the data on the back end of our system shows 98% of the time, if you ask for an introduction on Alignable, you will get it. Imagine going into a networking event with 9 million people and having sort of a new business representative that knew everybody on the platform saying, who do you want to meet? I'm happy to make those introductions. So whether you have 15 minutes a day or 15 hours over the course of a day, because we're all busy business owners, networking, as we all know, and relationship building is super important. But I'm using the platform as a filtered smart Rolodex, all fed through AI and technology that we have in the back end. But it's really designed for you to find the people you're looking to meet.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and so if we look at just 983, that's our local zip code here, and 852 results, just for 98391. So there's Michelle Lawrenson, so there's all sorts of businesses that you see that I've connected with. There's BAM, that we know. There's Luke. So there's you will be able to see all the businesses that are coming into this platform, and you don't have to spend a ton of time in order to on a daily basis. So I would say it's a 5 or 10 minute thing, and then if they respond, it's a quick phone call or it's a quick email response or something like that. So this isn't we always say that networking can also be called not working, because it can be a way to distract us from our core things, which is, getting clients, making sales, producing for our clients great results. So I want to go through the different components of this, of what makes up the page, and why you want to make sure that you're entering in each one of these different components. So I'm going to pull up my profile here, and you'll be able to see a couple different things. Number one, you'll see my connections. So I have 1,843 different connections. So Don, is that a lot? Is that a good amount?
Well, it's really not about the volume. It's really about the quality of the people in
Yeah.
your connections, right? Whether it's 10 people, 30 people, or 3,000. It's about, if you are searching for folks that are local to a community, then that's probably great. If you're looking for a national perspective, you could probably triple that number in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but it's about the other platform that I won't mention that sounds like SyncedIn. You go over there and somebody's trying to sell you a sheep farm. Every message you get over at that other platform is people selling, selling, selling. It's volume. Here at Alignable, it's about exactly who you're going to meet and the quality of those folks, and just being able to manage a relationship and a cluster of relationships versus trying to get to that volume of 10,000 people you're connected to. So for you, it's probably a good number. In digital marketing, you probably have a national practice. But I guarantee you, the more you spend on the platform, the more you can double that number, but it's going to be quality versus quantity.
Yeah, and these are just local.
There you go.
So these are,
Yep.
within a 25, 50 mile radius,
Yep.
most of them.
And
Some of them aren't, but most of them are.
for our audience, so for their edification, the platform is only for all North America. So it's Canada and the US.
Okay. And then recommendations. So that's a real key component there as well. So getting more recommendations obviously is a great credibility factor for you. The way I typically will get my things is after I've talked with somebody and I've done a one-to-one with them, maybe over the phone on Zoom or for coffee or whatever it might be. I'll jump on there and I'll write them a nice little recommendation. Had a chance to meet with so and so. They're awesome, whatever. They'll get that thing, and then they usually will respond back by giving me a recommendation as well. So, and then you can even uh, pinpoint those or highlight those some of those, or the best one that you want as far as your recommendations are concerned. So and then you can just click to, this is what everybody else would see when they are coming to your page. So you can also see I've got local business person of the year going back to 2022. Now that I'm getting more and more people onto the platform locally here, I'm probably going to have to kiss that goodbye, but somebody will get competitive with me. But Don, do you want to talk about the different components kind of going from here down? So what are
Sure.
these, and uh,
Sure.
that different stuff? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So consider your profile being your storefront, right? Who you are, what you do, who do you are looking to meet, the services you're looking to provide, basically the solutions you're providing to problems that your potential clients have, but also who else you want to meet, which is sort of a referral partner. So as you go down the page, it's sort of broken down by clearly your typical social network, right? Your banner, your photo. My suggestion is always have a headshot versus your logo as your photo, because people want to work with smiling faces, not just logos. But as you go down, the tags you see under his smiling happy face really kind of call out quickly the kind of work that he provides, right? Lead generation, advertising, works with small businesses, local service. So it's sort of like if I got 10 seconds to view his platform and his profile, I can quickly see that he's in digital marketing. I can get his telephone number, and I know right away the value proposition he's trying to provide and the types of business he's worked with. So in the news business, I would call that above the fold. So above the fold, I can tell exactly what he's all about in about 30 seconds, right? Because we're all 30 seconds away from our next distraction. So if you scroll down a little bit more, Andy, what you'll see is the solutions that he provides. And I love the fact that he has, he has a quote at the top there, because that just, word of mouth is so important, right? All the cool things Andy can do and the stuff I can do with public relations are fantastic. But you know what? If, one person says you're great, but 3,000 people say you're great, it's going to do more than any Super Bowl ad you'll ever place. Next time, hopefully the Patriots win the Super Bowl. So shout out my Patriots. Sidebar. All right. So keep scrolling down. So your ideal customers, I think you did a great job at really articulating, this is who I work with. These are the kind of solutions I bring to the table for folks like you that have these pain points. I can help. And the tags that you see at the bottom, these tags are almost like pieces of DNA on the platform. And what that means is every person's profile, every event we host, online groups that we have are all associated to tags. It's a way to categorize people and content and experiences. So instead of coming onto the platform saying, spraying and praying and hoping I meet the right people, the tags that you can edit on your profile, which are, you can edit them till the cows come home. With 9 million people on the platform, you'll find experts all over the place. But making sure your tags align with your customer type, as well as the types of people that can open up doors for you, because Alignable 360, which is the smart engine behind the platform, starts to learn the types of people you want to meet. So based on your existing network, and your tag is going to say, Andy's doing a really great job in networking in education or nonprofits. Let's find more people for him. We see that this tag is on his profile. Let's go find more people for him. As a small business owner, you've got payroll, staff, customers, a million things to deal with, but your networking should be smart. And Alignable is about that, using these intelligent tags and that description as a way for us to help you find the people you want to meet. So keep going down, Andy. You'll see that his About Us section, really tight, it's perfect. Anything that you're presenting in your profile should be the equivalent of, I have 10 floors in an elevator to talk to Andy, and once he's gone, I'll never see him again. Like, who are you? What do you do? What solutions do you provide? Keep it tight. But those tags are absolutely critical. And the cool thing with the tags is the more you change them, the more the system dynamically shifts in terms of where you hunt and who you get introduced to and opportunities to embrace it. So it's a fluid, agile kind of thing. Recommendations are really powerful because it just fuels word of mouth, which is great. And I love the fact you have it up in your profile. And then as you get further down the page here, below the fold, this is where you start to talk about your products and services. What do I do? How do I do it? What kind of packages am I offering? I have some folks that I know in the digital marketing space that work with contractors, right? That are offering, hotel gift cards for like free reviews of their website, things like that. So you can offer these kind of, relationship building things to just get people connected to your offer, and hopefully you can close some business.
And then we've got a gallery just so you can put some images in there.
Yeah, images, like if you get flyers of promos you're doing, if you're like a travel agent and there's things you want to showcase, or videos that you've done before, a podcast, for example, is always great. Then it shows you the next bucket here is sort of the recommendations you've given, which is kind of cool because if all of a sudden I'm building this rapport with Andy, I'm like, who else does Andy know? Who else does he work with? If he trusts them, I should probably trust them as well. And they may be somebody who's in my space that's who works in public relations or a potential nonprofit client of mine. So just this storefront just gives you so much intelligence on what I do, who I do it for, who I'm looking to meet, who I can introduce you to, which is just as important, and the solutions I can provide to your business, or the things that I may have in terms of gaps that you may be able to fill for me.
Yep.
And that bottom section was just recent activity. So the recent activity is when you're posting in groups or posting on your profile. Oftentimes we suggest, post once, 2-3 times a week, and your post should be educative. Everybody here has learned something, and their business provides solutions to some sort of problem that somebody's having. So use that educative, professorial approach to your content to say, hey, look, if you don't know your website's working, check out these 3 things, 1, 2, and 3. Hey, how do you manage a crisis communication situation when you're in the middle of it? Well, do these 3 things beforehand. Use your expertise as your educative opportunity, and that's what content on Alignable should be about.
Yep, helping people find solutions, because when they know that you can provide that solution for them, chances are you're the expert in your field. So They aren't. Some of them will try and, DIY it themselves, which is fine. Let them go and do that. And others are going to DIY it and go, I should probably go back to and talk to so and so and have them, because they obviously knew what they were talking about. So
That's when the budget doubles. Should have came
yeah,
to me the first time.
yeah, you came to me the first time. Now, no more discounts. So the overall, there's the platform gives you the versatility to be very, very local, like all the way down to your zip code, and then also national as well. So whatever type of clientele that you are going after.
Yeah.
This is a great way to find that niche and be able to really reach out wherever that niche is located.
I want to show the audience something pretty cool. So,
Okay.
Andy, do me a favor. Click my network. The top of the bar.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Click my network. Now I want you to click discover.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So over time, Andy works with real estate agents, right? So I'm asking you a question, Andy. So do you work with real estate agents?
I do have, yeah.
Okay. So this is so keep it at the top of the fold. This is showing Andy there are close to 2,700 people on the platform that are tagged as a real estate agent that he is not connected to, but is connected to people that he knows. If he clicks see matches here, which is the big purple button, that list you now see on your left-hand side, so you see Ken, you see Nancy, these are all people in real estate that Andy's one introduction away from meeting. All he has to do on the right-hand side is click get introduced. What this is going to show you is all the people that person is connected to, ranked by who knows that person the best. So over time, you start collecting connections and relationships. Every door unlocks a whole slew of new people to meet. So if you're specifically looking to meet very particular types of people in very particular types of industries, Alignable is going to start to realize that. So that discover section in your network gets smarter. As we'd say here in Boston, smarter. So to help you figure out who to meet, it's just going to guide your networking in a most strategic way. I love calling that out because it's almost a opportunity you have a hard time keeping up with. There's no way you can network with 2,700 people in a day.
Right, and that's just one industry,
Correct.
So of people that are connected to me. So and I've already got a couple of requests I hadn't even looked at. Oh, there's Michael. Sorry,
There you go.
Michael's on the call. I hadn't accepted it, and I'll accept Don's as well.
Yeah, I don't trust that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I know. See.
Yep, just skip that. Hit the skip button. We obnoxiously will ask you over and over again to grow your network, and what that is going to do is send a slew of requests to other people that are on the network that we have email addresses for, that he has email addresses for. I sort of cherry pick that and make sure that if I am connecting with somebody, there's some level of intent. I'm not trying to just control A, select all, spam everybody. I am focused on relationship quality first.
Excellent. Okay, now the next thing is events.
Cool. So, there's not a single day where we don't have events.
Yeah, so there's tons of great virtual networking events that are local. So you can, without leaving your office, you can network with other business owners here locally. They have classes, they have tutorials, they have all sorts of just the content is really, really excellent and well done. So
yeah,
when you get in here, you have the opportunity to register and all that sort of good stuff.
For one thing I call out here is there's not a single day that does not go by where we don't have event. But before I register for any event, do me a favor, Andy, under that one that says the 2 o'clock one, click the 152 registered. Click that little link at the bottom. So this is going to show me who is registered for this event. And that left-hand rail allows me to, who am I already connected to that goes? All right, so Andy doesn't know anybody going to this event. However, click industry. Now go to real estate. If there's there, bingo. You got one person who's going to this event in real estate. So what I would typically do, like, hey, Tasha, I see you're registered for this event at 1 o'clock. I'm also registered. I hope that we get paired off into one-on-one breakout room. These sessions are an hour long. and you do group kind of networking, but then you're broken off into a one-on-one room with a person for 7 minutes. So for 3.5 minutes, you say, here's what I do. Here's who I'm looking to meet. Love to have a connection. Over an hour, you get to meet the 7 to 10 people. You do 3 to 5 networking events over the course of a week. Now you're at 30 connections, and it starts to grow from there. But before I register for any event, and I have an hour to kill, is this going to be worth my time? So I'm looking in the room to see, is there value in here for me to meet? And I do that every single time, because you all know you can fill your day. As you said, Andy, networking could be a job, but you got clients, you got family, kids, everything else, right? I look at those events and I screen the room beforehand as a way to see, is there going to be value in here with me? And if there is, I will do some networking even before I step into the room. So I've already sort of, greased the skids before I went in.
That's I didn't even know that. So that's excellent. That's something new thing that I hadn't seen.
I'm full of tips, Andy. I'm full of tips.
I know you are. Well, you better be. That's what they pay for.
That's right.
Let's see my events. If I'm hosting an event,
Yep.
if I'm registered for an event, or if I want to post. Let's see.
No, actually, those are past events. So what's cool about past events? Check out the middle one with the winner circle. So click that registered button again. All right, see where it says on the right-hand side, keep going to your right, down. See where it says RSVPs? Click the attended list. That's grayed out to the right of that. So now these are people that actually went to the event, right? So what I would typically do, if you go back to the previous screen, you can go to your past event, to a past, and then click the registered link at the bottom. See where it says 332, the number, the middle event. Go down, 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 down. Keep going. Yep. Now you click the attendees tab in the middle, underneath the stars. These are all the people that went to the event, and then you can then segment by the industry. So show me who came, and then show me who's working for Alignable. Show me who went to real estate, and I would say, hey, Chuck, I saw you went to that event last week. I didn't get a chance to do a breakout room with you. I'd love to connect with you anyways. I'm using the event as an excuse to create some connective tissue in the relationship to say hello. And these are all based on those tags. Correct.
Yep. So you can see where they're located and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah. So you can see how engaged they are in the thing. Danielle, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, this is, wow, so informational. I might have to re-up my premium subscription again. This is super informational. There's the hosting. You had kind of went past the hosting quickly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So if you want to host an event,
yes.
So my events hosting. Let's see. Is that no? Where do I go to?
So if you want to host an event, you have to have either the Premium Plus membership, or you have to be an ambassador or a group lead. Lead. So the reason why we have a bit of not a strict process, but we have a bit of a screening process beforehand, because if we allowed that for everybody would do it and it would dilute the value of it. But somebody like Andy, absolutely ripe to be a group lead or even an ambassador, because clearly he's highly recommended, very active on the platform, very successful with it. Kudos to him. He's a walking playbook of how to do this right. But Andy could have the ability to host an event, and the event is, you can either do it in person as an ambassador, where you have that sort of alignable experience in person, but they're mostly run through our groups, and the groups, which you can get to in a second, Andy. The groups are either hyper local or they're topical focused. They may be focused on particular types of businesses, but you can host events within groups. And so groups allow you to have your typical like social network conversations in the thread. So what you see here is that Andy's in one of his groups here. You can see the main thread, right? But you can also within the group have an event which is associated to a group. So for example, Danielle, say you joined and you got active on the platform, premium membership, and you only wanted to have hyper local of events with folks that were local to your community. You can have a group that's for your local hometown, and you can have online networking events specific to folks that were in your community. And we have a team that walks you through how to manage events, how to use our platform to do so, walk you through registration, best practices to advertise to get people there. But we save those experiences for those like Andy who are, hyper connected, active on the platform, because as I said before, we don't want to dilute the experience because everybody would do it and it would turn into the other platform.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got there's just I mean, you could get lost in here, guys. There's so much great stuff to be able
My,
to do
my
that.
advice on events, do one a week or 1 to 3 a month, right? Because if you do that, you'll meet 30 or so people, over a course of a week or a course of a month, and you're back to this problem of, a stack of business cards you have to manage. But again, there's an event probably from early in the morning, East Coast time, to later in the evening, East Coast time. But you'll find events for women-owned businesses, healthcare, marketing only, real estate only. We're doing a lot more affinity-based events because we want to just match people up so they can meet the people they want to meet.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these, there's just tons and tons and tons. It's starting off with the women, women's groups, so you
Yep.
can dive into that, discover groups. You can go to veterans or Christian or
Yep.
whatever you might want. So
click the edit interest at the top where it says discover groups, Andy. To your left.
yeah,
Yep, right
okay,
there.
there you go.
You're trying to find specific groups. This is where, again, you'd use the tags to find the groups you want to engage in. As I said before, tags are associated to people's profiles, event experiences, group experiences. So everything you change in the platform with tags dynamically starts to shift your experiences. Again, if you have 15 minutes or 15 hours, let's find the types of people and experiences you want to go into, and we're going to have to get there.
Excellent. All right, let's go. And then of course there's the messaging, that you can do here, so you can see when you're sending messages back and forth. So it's a nice, easy spot for you to kind of keep track of that. This is the only thing that Michael, that I don't like, but I understand, is that I'm not able to just email them directly. But I understand that's kind of part of the platform.
Yeah,
there. It's part of the
we want to
secret
keep you
sauce.
here. We want to keep you. We want to keep you in the party. We want to keep you on the platform.
No, that's fine. And eventually, if you get to know them, you'll get their email.
Of course.
And then you'll have your notifications. These will get what will get sent out from some of what of your connections are doing. Whether they've just been made a highly referred business, or whether they can introduce you to different connections. There's just all the different messages that you can go through there.
Yep.
Then of course you have the ability to edit your profile. You have the ability to advertise. Now the advertising, you can only choose to advertise one community, or each community can only have one advertiser. Is that correct?
That's correct. So depending on where you are, I'm in Revere, Massachusetts, so I could advertise in my community. The idea is that you are sort of locking in that community to your business, and the cost of advertising ranges, depends on how big the community is, how many people are in that community in terms of their profile. But my suggestion is, before you even start to dive into advertising, and this is me not selling the platform, is to get used to how it works. Make some connections, use the free version, then maybe level up to paid membership and get used to it and integrate it into your workflow. And if you feel like you're meeting people and driving some success, you're like, man, I want more of this, I want to put a little gasoline on this fire, maybe choosing a community sponsorship could be helpful, because what that does, it prioritizes your profile to other people in your local area, again, based on the tags to which the people you want to meet. So this is sort of like, now, not only do you have priority seating, if you will, within the platform, but now you're sort of trumping everybody else because you're sponsoring that community. So my suggestion is, start simple, start small, put the training wheels on first. And as you sort of mature with using the platform, I have a whole team that kind of walks you through the value of sponsorships and what that can do for your business.
Yeah. And, I kind of kicked myself. I was on the platform so early, and I didn't buy the Bonnie Lake advertising. The guy is not giving it up yet. So,
Well, I mean, yeah,
so
and
if
we
you,
because there's it drives profile views. You'll see leads, you'll see inquiries. And the one thing that we can't do as a company or as a platform for you is close business. But what we can do is make sure you're presented in front of the people that you do want to meet and find them in a way that's based on like, know, and trust and through mutual connection. So at some point, Andy, if you're interested in having a conversation, I guarantee you somebody on my team would figure out a creative way to help you out there. But based on what I'm seeing, you're doing the thing. You're doing all the right stuff, and you're out there connecting with folks. But again, my suggestion to folks is start small, start easy, get to learn the platform, and over time scale.
yeah, so it's totally it's free to sign up. And then also I wanted to go through a couple other things. Number one, this is really cool. So you can see how the some of the insights that have happened within your page. So you can see who's clicked on your pages. So if somebody's interested in you, that way you can know that they're actively kind of looking at your stuff. One day ago this person was looking at my stuff. I don't know who they are, but or maybe I do. I've connected with them in the past, but I don't have a real strong relationship. And then you can see, all the different post insights and stuff like that that happen in there throughout the
Yeah.
thing. And you can get to a Smart Connect. Tell us a little bit about the Smart Connect. These are
Yeah,
just the breakout
Yep,
rooms.
yep, yep.
So,
Smart Connect is basically every online event that we have, which is usually run through a group. It's an hour-long session, and if they're hosted by a group lead, they're usually on topic or a particular industry or region or something. It's an hour-long session, 60 minutes on our platform. And what happens is that you randomly get selected into a one-on-one breakout room with somebody that's attended. What we're moving towards is before you register, you're going to say, I want to meet these 10 types of businesses. And we're going to help you find Smart Connects that align with the people that have registered for those events with mutual interests. So now you get into a Smart Connect and you have the ability to meet 7 to 10 people over the course of an hour. And when in that one-on-one, you've got 7 minutes to say hello, talk about what you do and who you're looking to meet. They do the same thing. When the time is up, the Smart Connect platform is going to say, hey, did you like talking to Don? Thumbs up or thumbs down? If I say thumbs up, me as the user only sees that. And if you say thumbs down, I only see that as well. What that does is tell Alignable, hey, Andy thought Don was cool. He'd love to connect with him afterwards. And so over the course of an hour, say you meet 10 people and 7 of them are really valuable relationships and you thumbs up. When the session is over, Alignable says, hey, thanks for coming. Here are the 7 people you connected with or you had a one-on-one conversation. Would you like to connect with them on Alignable? And it makes it literally as just putting pins in a tab and you can connect with those people right away. So it just, again, imagine going into a networking room of 500 people and there are blue pins on people's heads. And those blue pins represent the people you want to meet versus trying to meet everybody in the room. And that's what the Smart Connect does. It aligns you with the people you'd like to meet and filters those folks that, I do believe that everybody you meet has some sort of value because their network could be value to you. You just need to work a little harder at exploring it. But we're trying to match people through those tags. And the other thing I'd call out here, Andy, on the post insights, if you scroll down a little bit, when you click post insights on the right-hand side above recommended someone, keep going up. Keep going. The first one. Yep. So eventually what you'll see here is you'll see it'll show you every single post you put on the platform, and it'll show you not just how many clicks or views you got on a post, but you click another button, it'll show you all the people that commented or viewed it. And more importantly, it prioritizes those people based on the tags in your profile. So for example, if I had 30 people comment on one of my posts and say 29 of them were just, people I'm connected with, but are not customers or referral partners. But there's one person who commented on a post who's inquiring about something, and that person happens to be tagged with a customer tag. That's the person I'm following up with. So it's basically telling you, hey, you've got this content, you've reached people. Out of all the people that are seeing it, commenting on it, and engaging with it, these 4 people are the most valuable to you based on the tags in your profile. Again, guided networking with intent.
Excellent. Okay. So let's talk a little, because we're kind of getting to the end here. So let's talk a little bit about premium versus free as far as your different pricing levels are concerned.
Sure. So we have basically 2 blocks of engagement. One is guest. And as a guest, you are free on the platform, and you have 5 connection requests over the course of 30 days to meet people. But you still have basically unlimited events you can go to. So you can go to as many smart connects as you want and still be free and connect with people offline on other platforms, get their email addresses. It gives you some limited visibility in terms of who's on your profile, but not a ton. And the minute you go to a paid membership, we have membership, premium, and premium plus. And the difference between the three, other than the cost, which scales up from I think like $30 to about $80 a month, from membership to premium plus. The differences are the amount of connection credits you get from I think 25 initially up to almost I think it's 75 at premium plus. And the reason why we limit connection credits is because we don't want people coming on the platform and trying to connect with everybody, because that's what's happening elsewhere. Meaning, if I spend any time with Andy and we get introduced, because one trick around this, Andy, if you and I say I'm trying to meet Danielle, but I don't know her, but you do, and you recommend me to her, and the two of us are now in a message on the platform through the recommendation, Danielle and we are now connected, but neither one of us have used a connection credit. So now we can have a first date. We can have a couple conversations, get to know her, and that way you can use your 5 connection requests in a much smarter way, as we say here in Boston. Outside of the connection credits, in terms of membership, premium plus, you get prioritization in terms of how your profile is fed into the system and how it's presented to people you want to meet. You have more data in terms of being a premium plus member. You have the ability to be a group lead or an ambassador if you're a premium plus member. So just think of the membership as a bit of a dial. You just get more data, more intelligence, more priority seating, if you will, and the ability to do additional things like advertise, be a group leader, and an ambassador. But I work for the platform, and my job is to sell it. But my recommendation is start small, start free, kick the tires, learn how to use it. I'm happy to do a one-on-one with anybody to walk you through the things I've learned and how to leverage the platform. Because honestly, Andy, if our members don't succeed using it, we don't succeed as a company, which is why I invest the time in coaching and doing one-on-one business training to get people to use the platform. But the membership levels, it's 80, I think it's basically $80 a month. If you pay for a full year at one time, there's a discounted cost. But imagine if you need, a single piece of business to cover that cost. My average engagements are 5 to 10 grand a month. I close one piece of business on the platform, that's paid for itself a million times over. So again, you get for the more you pay, you get more access, priority seating, if you will, more data, the ability to use tags and filtering, and you have more connection credits, and you have the ability to be a group leader and or ambassador.
Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. If anybody's got some questions, just raise your hand.
If you have a free membership, just based on what you just said, Don, if you have a free membership, is your number of tags and is your number of tags limited?
Nope. You can use tags until the cows come home. But the issue with tags is, so for example, Andy's hunting in real estate. What I would not suggest he do is real estate mortgage broker, real estate developer, real estate this. I always use the term be broadly specific. So just a sidebar quickly, Pam, what is your business? What do you do for work?
Accounting.
Bookkeepers. I actually blame math for driving me to marketing, because I think 1 + 1 = 2, and that's about it. But bookkeeping, I'm sure your clients are in particular industries, maybe they're law firms, maybe they're retail companies, B2C. So the categories to which your existing client base is in are the categories you would use on your profile, but you're not limited.
Okay.
Great question. Tags are the linchpin to success on the platform. I must say tag 3,000 times over the course of the day.
Yeah, the other thing I will tell you is that because of the power of the platform and they're so large, if I was to put up a website today, a one-page website, and launch a new Alignable page, my Alignable page would probably come up number 1 for that keyword way before my main site would. It's just because of the power of how much collective data is there, and also how much usage is going on.
Yep.
and engagement is going on. Google sees all that, and so it's a great way to get some extra SEO for your business without
Correct.
really having to hire an SEO person or anything like that.
Correct. We get 20,000 signups a week.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem getting people to the site. It's getting people to understand the value of it and the power and how to technically use it. That's the challenge we have, but we're working through it.
So, how do you schedule like an overall meeting with somebody like you to
Sure.
help refine a page?
Sure. I'm gonna slap my email address in the chat, and that's what you got to do. Just send me an email.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, Michael.
So I left networking, but that's what I'm doing for last 2-3 months. I would like to know, how is this different than, let's say, than LinkedIn or Facebook or any groups, or because obviously I cannot join every networking group, or maybe I can. I don't know. It just seems, with all the networking possibilities, it's starting to seem to be overwhelming. And so I would like to know, what is the difference with Alignable?
Love that question. My favorite question I get all the time. Here's the difference. Go to Facebook. You open your feed. What do you see? Political posts, sports, puppies, kittens, gifts, random stuff people selling, right? It's a hodgepodge of people and some networking, maybe a little business from time to time. You log into LinkedIn, it's become a massive, massive sales engine where small businesses are probably getting lost. And it's become a thought leadership platform, a big advertising platform. The difference is that we're not a social network, and we're not Facebook, we're not LinkedIn. We're basically a networking piece of technology that allows you to take 9 million people and segment them in a way that only serves up the folks that you want to meet. So, and this is why I joined the platform even before I joined the company. I found that the networking and the quality of the people that I met was honest, with integrity, and people were open to having conversations versus sort of like cold calling, cold pitching, getting ghosted, and emails not going to responded to. It's an extremely active platform. Like I said, 98% of the time you ask for an introduction, you will get it. And the data and the intelligence you get on this platform, you'd have to pay $3 million a month on LinkedIn to get it. Yes, they have a sales navigator platform, and you're paying probably 100 and change a month. You manually have to go sift and find people you want to meet. Alignable is doing this work for you while you're sleeping. And the last bit of it all, you get access to me and other people to help guide your sales process and leveraging the platform at no cost. You don't get that on LinkedIn or anywhere else. That's the difference.
Yeah, and I kind of think I've looked at LinkedIn a little bit as more of a corporate resume site, if you will, just not necessarily a networking site. I get so much, just spam and crap of unsolicited sponsorship emails and posts and messages and stuff like that I really don't even pay attention to it, because it doesn't really affect my business, because my customers aren't looking at LinkedIn. The average small business owner, if you're connecting with small business owners, are really not on LinkedIn. The person that is on LinkedIn is the corporate employee that is, working for Amazon, or, working their way up the corporate ladder. That you're going to find a lot more of those type of folks there, but they're not the entrepreneur type. Specifically, I mean, there are some on there, and there are some that do that, but I haven't really seen the value. There's tons more value in what this does, because think of it as a LinkedIn business on a local scale, wherever you want to be local. So if you want, whatever zip code you want to go target that day, whatever it might be. So Michael, I know that you do a lot. Your business is centered around B2C. You work with consumers, right? But you have influencers that you want to network with that are going to refer you to those customers. So you are going to want to be using the platform to connect with real estate agents, with mortgage agents, with title companies, rental, companies, that sort of stuff, to build that. That's how you would build your platform on here, not trying to reach homeowners, so to speak.
Yep. Real estate is the second largest sphere that we have on the platform, meaning there's a lot of folks in the real estate space on this platform. The other thing I would say is in the value add, LinkedIn does not do curated events specifically that are local or in person, they're not doing events other than their own webinars or marketing promotion. I think the best complementary experience to get involved in, honestly, is your local chamber. Exactly what you're doing now. If you're selling business locally, you're in the right place because you got your local chamber, because that's where the rubber meets the road and people shake hands. Now take this platform, leveraging sort of that hyper local ability to find the right people. I guarantee you'll be able to find dozens of realtors in your local community that probably have folks that do home inspections, for example, but they don't all go to one person. They're just finding somebody who's available, what's going on with their particular business. But again, between the data, accessibility, we have a Slack community that folks that are on the premium side and the ambassador side have access to. So our employees are actively engaged with our community on a regular basis. I mean, Andy just asked me to do this webinar, like, I don't know, yesterday or whatever it was at noontime. I was like, if I have a chance to help small businesses out, I'm going to drop my hat. You couldn't get that level of access on I don't care, unless you're spending $10 million on LinkedIn or Google. I mean, I have a client of mine that spends probably on average $3.5 million in Google ads. Getting a meeting with them is incredibly difficult, and they're a small business. So my advice is, like, try it and experience it. I guarantee you'll see some success.
Yeah, and if we want to do a follow-up, thing in a month or so, let me know, and we'll get Don back on, and maybe we'll do some go through and answer some questions. You've got his email, so if you have quick questions that you want to just jump on him and not wait for that, that's fine also.
Yep.
So we're getting to the end of the hour here, so I just want to see if there's any other questions that people have before we kind of get it wrapped up. Going once, going twice, and
I have a question not related to this.
Okay, you can ask a question not related to this. I'll allow it.
If everyone is done with
Yeah,
why don't we wrap up?
I'll wrap up. So, and then we can stay on for just another second. So gentlemen, thank you. This was so informational. I was on Alignable several years ago and actually got booted off and couldn't remember my passwords. I haven't been back on. So Don, I'll be reaching out to you, but it's really informational, and love that you have taken kind of the marriage of the social media side and the actual physical networking side and kind of made this beautiful marriage between the two. So super informative. Thank you both so much. And we'll see you next month on Zooming into Success. Charity, any updates for us? Anything we should know about?
Yeah, our next Zoom into Success is going to be really great too. I hope you can make it. We're going to learn about lots of different ways that you can use AI to up-level your business, not just from a marketing perspective, but looking at operations and some other things there. And our speaker will be Kimberly Campbell from Campbell Tax and Accounting. So that's going to be a good one to tune into. I would really recommend it.
All right, there you have it. Hope to see you next month. Thanks everyone. And again, for the Bonnie Lake Chamber Collective, which I can never remember how to say it, I'm Danielle Lord for Zooming into Success. We'll see you then.